Hello, how are we all doing? Hi, I'm Zero. Hi, Spidooey. Hi, Miguel. I hope you're all doing good. How was your day? Was that intentional? No, it wasn't. It was just me being boomer again. It was just me being incompetent with technology. I think I just forgot to turn it back up. But yeah. A raid! Hi, Tayu! Welcome in, Raiders. Thank you so much for the raid, Tayu. So, hi, hello, Raiders. I've literally just started. I've literally just started the stream. So yeah, welcome in. Good timing, I guess. My name's Psydere. I am a psychologist, and also, as you can probably see, a VTuber. So I'm hoping to teach everybody psychology through anime and gaming and, disgusting weeb culture and things like that. All very cool stuff, hopefully. I want to get people excited about psychology. I think it's cool. I'm doing a whole PhD in it. So, yeah, hopefully I can, share the enthusiasm. Teu, I love the raid message. That's so cute. You will be heard because you're a goat. I like it. Yeah, if you need to go take a break, go get up, have a drink, have some food, go for it. You are more than welcome to go and stretch your legs. Please do. But yeah, and thank you for the follow, Noble Bunny Rin. Thank you so much. Welcome into the class. Okay, so this is quite amusing because I was literally about to start the stream saying I have not prepared anything. I have no idea what I'm doing. So yeah, today's going to be like basically the use like I don't know how can we describe this? Like I want to know what you lot are all interested in, and I want to talk about it. Like if I don't know the answer, which I probably don't, because my knowledge of psychology is unfortunately very laser focused on what my PhD is in, but I do have the skills to be able to research it together. So I thought it might be fun to like have a think about what kind of things you're all interested in knowing more about, things that you've just seen about people, how they behave. Can be how they behave online or how they believe, how they behave even in real life. And yeah, just kind of see what we think about various things. Yeah, I'd love to know what kinds of things you're all interested in. If you let me know, then maybe we can go on a little adventure together into research. Oh, Spaduri, you had a tiresome day because of the cold weather. It's getting down to -1. Ooh, that's exciting. Well, it's not exciting. It's cold, but you know what I mean. Very, yeah. I feel like we've been quite lucky. Well, the UK in general is not very lucky in terms of the weather because it rains a lot, but it's been okay. Not that I would know too much because I don't really leave the house that much at the minute. My life right now is just nothing but, writing PhD and finishing off last bits of research for PhD. So, yeah, I don't leave the house that much. I'm turning into a basement dweller, but that is fine. That is fine. Because you're the goat. You are. You are the goat. You are the goat. Speech development. Ooh, that's an interesting idea. I think we actually was it about speech development or was it about reading? I think we had a journal club planned for that. It might have been reading. Let me check very quickly. I will bring up the reading list that we have, but I think it was reading rather than speech development. Let's see. Oh yes, it was the myth of normal reading. I mean, if that's something that people would be interested, I'd be happy to do that too. But speech development, what do we think? Any other ideas? I think you're pretty familiar with my interests. This is true. The way that we tell stories and the way those stories influence our lived experience and the blurred lines between reality and fiction. Yeah, they are all very. You know what? Actually, that in itself is a very interesting topic because it influences a lot of psychology research. So psychological research can kind of be broken down broadly into two areas. There's like quantitative psychology, which is all doing experiments on people and measuring with questionnaires and running statistics and trying to work out things based on numbers. Um, there's also qualitative psychology, which is more looking at how people interpret the world around them and trying to gain evidence through that instead. So it's a lot more kind of looking at their subjective experiences, but it treats those subjective experiences as important and as evidence for how we interpret the world in itself, because it kind of is, right? Well, no, it fully is. You know, if you're thinking about how people, so for example, if you want to know, I don't know, how people think about VTubers, let's go with that. You know, if you want to find out how people think about VTubers, you could give them questionnaires which kind of just ask them, you know, how much do you identify with VTubers, you know, how much enjoyment do you get, and rate it on a scale of 1 to 10 or whatever. Or you could do interviews, or you could read what they're posting on Twitter and analyze that instead. But the thing about that kind of research is that rather than kind of trying to be objective, the researcher's subjective opinion is kind of like embedded into the research process, which I find super, super interesting. There are so many like quantitative psychologists that just say like, I have developed a scale and therefore this is a thing, this is objective and true. I think probably things are a bit more complicated than that. So yeah, there's like an entire like area of research methods that I find super, super interesting, and there's some really, really cool research coming out of that area too. I hope your PhD goes well. Thank you. I hope it does too. It's certainly been a mixed experience so far, but yeah, no, it is going. I managed to, I'm not gonna lie, I spent the whole of today, like I had a really long meeting this morning, and then in the afternoon I was just making a survey, and that was my whole day, because unfortunately some things can't be like automated. You have to go in and change them manually, and it kind of hurts while you're doing it, but you know, it makes it rigorous, it makes it work in the way that it's expected to, so that's all good. Okay, right, so any other suggestions? We've got stories or narratives, how we think about our life through narratives, or we've got speech development. Anything else? Anything else that's interesting? Because I think the stories one, I might be able to have a few. I might be able to kind of off the cuff link it to anime, but I don't think I can. Very well. No, I probably can. I probably can. But the speech development, I'm not so sure. Maybe why and how different sounds affect mood. Oh, that's such a good one. That is very, yeah. I know nothing about that as well. That would be interesting. Anything goes related to psychology? That's too vague. What, as in anything goes in general? Any topic? Or like people's approach to things, like an anything goes attitude. I don't know. Tell me. Like any topic. Oh, okay. Well, so personally, you know what? Let's do a poll. Mod, can you do a poll for me? Or not? Please. I don't know if Mod is doing a poll. Okay, let's do a poll with those 3 topics. So the speech development, narratives. I'm glad you're here. Okay, I'll set up a poll. It's fine. New poll. Oh yeah, I forgot that we did a thing about the wife test. That upset me. So what topic should we research today? Narratives. Actually, how would I phrase this? I think, yeah, no, I know. I was just having a small brain moment. Musical anhedonia. Ooh. What is that? Like not responding to music? Interesting. Yeah, I think I was just having a small brain moment. You don't understand. I've been staring at like survey software literally all day. So I have 3 brain cells and they're not functioning particularly well. So I say that every stream, but it's actually just so true. What were the topics again? I've already forgotten. Speech development. There was, what was, oh gosh, music, emotions and music, and we've got narrative, life stories, Let's do life stories. That makes it sound a bit. Life stories, I think, summarizes it. Let's see. There we go. Did I do it right? Did I do the poll right? I hope I did. I have theories about the effect of ASMR, positive or negative. Ooh, interesting, interesting. I'd love to know what they are. ASMR is a weird one because, like, for me, I don't get the ASMR thing. Like, I don't get the effect of it. Yeah, I did it. Yes, success. Yeah, no, I don't personally like get the ASMR effect, if that makes sense. Good job. Thank you, thank you. Like I never have the tingly thing or whatever that people talk about, but I do know that there are actually, you know what? Sorry, I'm gonna end the poll and we're gonna do it again. It's gonna be the same poll. Right, what topic? I'm gonna add ASMR on there because I think that's really interesting too. What did I put again? I've already forgotten. Life stories, music and emotions, speech development, effects of ASMR. Let's go with that. Okay. I hope I fixed it. I hope I did it. I have no idea what I'm doing today, as you can tell. I woke up today feeling very, very tired, and then I've had the kind of day where I'm just like, bleh. And so I did not prep. I was hoping I would actually have like a presentation to give you today, finally, about the sampling issues that we have in psychology. And then I just didn't get around to it. Because, you know, it turns out if I'm working 9 to 5, I need to actually be doing my job, which is sad and disappointing. But hydrate, thank you, thank you. I've actually got tea with me today. Came prepared, so nice. Oh, the thing about ASMR is that it's small sounds recorded in a way that makes them seem like they must be very close to you, so they convey intimacy. Depending on how open you are to strangers being close to you, that can be pleasurable or torture. That's so true. That's a really good point. Oh, okay. This time we're on effects of ASMR. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, let's do that then. What am I doing? I'm going into this. Cool. And then we will try and work out ASMR. Yeah, that's a really good point. I think because I'm one of the people, like I'm British to start with. We don't like people being near us. And then on top of that, I'm like neurodivergent in a way that means I don't like people touching me or being near me or interacting with me. So yeah, that might be a bit of why I don't get ASMR. And like actually a lot of the time I find it actively disgusting, and I wonder if it's like a misophonia effect, like, you know, like when people have an issue with eating noises. It might be similar to that. I can't remember what overlay I need to go into. Oh dear. Maybe this one? As much as I like this one, I don't think this is the right one. This is going well. How about this one? Oh, this might be it. Okay. Is it this one? I hope that this works, otherwise I'll be sad. This is not working. Once again, I have been foiled. Okay. Right, we're going to have to do display capture. So if I show something that shouldn't be shown, please do not clip it or send it to Twitch. I trust you all. Please. I'm scared. Okay. Right. Google Scholar. What is Google Scholar? Google Scholar is basically just Google, but for scholars. Very true. So it's just scholar.google.com. But it's a way to like, you can search basically anything, any kind of academic-y thing. So there's like psychology research, but there's also everything else. There's physics, there's chemistry, there's biology, there's like all of the humanities, arts, etc. So yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing. Ooh, it's a lot like a tickle. Tickle can be pleasurable, but depending on how it's done and other factors, it can be torture. A great example is for the game grumps doing intentional ASMR torture. They used all the techniques to make it sound like ASMR, but behave in such an unpleasant way. It gives me the tingles, but in a like don't bad touch, make it stop kind of way. Yeah, like a don't like a you're in my you're too close. You're in my bubble. Don't enter my bubble. Yes, I am using incognito. Thank you, Miguel. Yeah, because if I opened Google Scholar on my normal browser, then I would just instantly like painfully dox myself because it would come up being like, your new article has just been published. Hello, Psydere. This is your name and your institution and your qualifications and your face and everything, and also all of your co-workers. Yeah, so let's not do that. I am in a private browser, don't worry. But yeah, Google Scholar is really, really useful. It's really good. If you ever want to look up something, yeah, sciencey or humanities-y, this is a really good place to start. Psydere and Co. Yeah, so true. You know, there's like a little part of my what's the word? There's a little part of me that's really, really tempted to just like start up an entire like VTubing crew through my job, like trying to get my colleagues in real life into VTubing, but it would never happen because they are far too normal. So yeah, it won't happen. They're the kind of people that go on hikes at the weekend and stuff like that, and I'm like, oh. If I'd even try and explain the concept, they wouldn't get it. Yeah. Also, nice Horatius emote. We love that. We love Horatius in this chat. Okay, so it's Google Scholar, ASMR. What? Actually, first I will just show you how Google Scholar works. What should we look up? Let's just look up. Let's see what happens when we type in VTubers. What happens? Oh my gosh, there's actually papers. Wait, what? Oh my goodness. That's... Yo. What? That's wild. Okay, so there are actually there are actually 420 papers about VTubers. 420. Perfect. Perfect. Hikes are nice. This is very true, but I am not an outdoors person. Funny number. Yeah, so I don't know, let's just see a random one. If you're just like scrolling, you just want to find a paper about VTubers. I don't know what you're looking for. You can be looking for anything, but I don't know. If you're, let's say, okay, we wanna, which one of these are interesting? More kawaii than a real person live streamer? So true. Okay, let's go with that one. So I want to know about more kawaii than a real person live streamer. So first of all, you've got like the name of the title, so like the paper or this looks like conference proceedings, but Kai is like computers and human interaction, so it's a kind of computer sciencey conference, but it's focused on how people interact with the digital world and with hardware and stuff like that. And computer science tends to have their conferences be actual papers. So they'll be like fully peer-reviewed papers. And if it's in a conference proceeding like that, then you can basically consider it like a journal article. Very meta, I know. So you've got the actual paper, and then here you've got all of the authors. You've got where it's published. So here it's in conference proceedings. When it was published, the date, and the domain that it's been published on. You kind of sometimes want to know that because you can get some kind of weird stuff appearing, and if you see it's on a really weird looking domain, like I don't know, like sussylink.ru or something, maybe don't go on that one. But yeah, then down here there's also a very brief preview of the abstract, and then there is, you can cite things automatically. So if you're ever writing something, you can just click cite and it comes up with this pre-formatted set of references which is so useful. Sussylink.ru, yes. Also, maybe don't actually type that because I don't know whether that's an actual. I wouldn't be surprised if that's like a parody site, you know? I really wouldn't be surprised, but you know, we don't know. It's fine, it's all good. You can also, if you go on all of the versions, if it doesn't come up with the PDF instantly, you can go on all 14 versions and it will show you all of the places where you might be able to access it, which is very cool. They've uploaded this straight to GitHub. That is iconic. But yeah, look, there's all of these .edu domains, so these are all fine. ResearchGate.net is also fine. That's like a social network, but for researchers. Don't ask me why we have that. To this day, I don't understand it. It's like if Facebook was infinitely worse. I hate it. And then you can also see what papers have cited it, which is very cool. So there's actually quite a lot of papers about VTubing, which is wild. And also just streaming in general, I guess. But yeah, you can go through and see what cited it. And if you're looking for something about a specific topic, going down a rabbit hole like that can be super helpful. So like if I wanted to start off with this, you know, how the otaku community engages with VTubers, then I can go on, see who's cited that paper, and then have a look through. And if there's anything else that seems relevant, then amazing. I can just go on that link too. But we don't want to look through that. Let's just have a look at this paper. I would be really interested in research on how sincere VTubers are. Oh, that's an interesting point. Yeah, if that's a thing you can research, I think that is a thing you can research. One of the things that fascinate me are like how it's a mask that you put on, obviously, but then even flesh tubers put on a mask. Yeah, arguably a lot of VTubers actually act more like themselves than people who are trying to portray their real selves in a cool light. That's so true, honestly. I think that, so in real life, I am cringe, but I am free, you know? And everybody that knows me in real life knows that I'm like that. If I was like broadcasting myself on the internet with my actual face, I'd be a bit more hesitant. So yeah, probably the VTuber avatar does give me like a degree of being able to actually express myself, because like, you know, if anyone like approaches me in real life and they're like, what is this, then I can be like, oh, it's just a character, it's just a Psydere character, it's just anime girl, you know, it's fine. When actually it's like, it's actually just me. I'm actually just that cringe. Kayfabe stream when? Okay, I'm Boomer. Please tell me, what is kayfabe? I don't know what that is. Oh dear. Oh, like one of the earliest clips I saw was a lolly vampire or something talking about her hemorrhoids. What? Iconic. And people loved it. It's also like, if she was her real self, would people react less positively? You know, that reminds me, okay, I know that like, okay, so there's this content creator that was using a VTuber avatar for a while, but like a PNG tuber. She got cancelled a little while back. If you've watched a certain video about, like a certain 4-hour long video about plagiarism on YouTube, then you know exactly who I'm talking about. It's the MLM woman. But she had like some really weird story times before she was a PNG tuber. And like, I do think that people were probably harsher. You know who I mean. But I think that people were probably harsher because she was telling those stories with her actual face rather than with her PNG. And I do wonder how people would have responded. Because I remember that was one of the things that was kind of like made fun of in the 4-hour video, was like, oh, she's talked about this disgusting story with her actual face on the internet. Lol, that's cringe. And it's like, yeah, but also, you know, would people have said the same thing if her actual face wasn't attached to it? Like, if you couldn't see her face moving along with the story, would it have been as cringe? That's an interesting thing. It's essentially playing a character. Its origins are in wrestling, where wrestlers put on a character. That is so true. Also, I think that means that you probably need some kind of wrestling persona now. So make that a thing. Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, to be fair, it probably varies quite significantly between each streamer, because like, I think, how would I describe? I don't feel like I'm playing that much of a character when I'm streaming. I I feel like I'm just kind of like sitting and talking. And I think that probably having the model makes that a lot easier. Because if I was, yeah, if I had my face, I think I'd probably feel a need to play more of a character because I get like quite aware of how people are interpreting me sometimes in very specific situations. Normally, it's like academic-y situations. To be fair, like in my day-to-day life, I literally don't care because I know the people in my day-to-day life, like they're my friends or whatever for a reason, and they tolerate even the strangest things. Also, I'm so sorry. This cookies thing's annoying me. But yeah, it's I don't know. I don't know. I think I probably wouldn't if VTubing wasn't an option, I wouldn't be streaming. Like that I know for certain. Um if ooh, if I was streaming with my face, I'd probably present myself quite differently. I feel like it's easier to make fun of things also if there's like the barrier of not having my face instantly attached to it. Like, I meme on British people a lot. Obviously, I am British. I therefore have legal permission to meme on British people. But would I be making those same jokes if it was actually my face? Probably not. Not because I'd be worried about backlash or anything, just because it's like I'm more aware. Like sometimes I make a comment that's so cringe that it makes me blush and then everyone would see it. Whereas like if it happens with the VTuber, no one can see it. It's fine. Yeah. Oh, I find academic discussions provided by VTubers to be more accessible. Yes. Watching real people talk about science in their flesh forms feels too much like school. That's so true. Oh my gosh, so true. Yeah, I think that's why science communication channels like Kurzgesagt are so popular. It's for largely the same reason. It's because it's cute and animated, it kind of takes you a step away the from the academiciness, if that makes sense. I think academic discussions in general are not very accessible. I think it's fair to say that there's some degree of elitism attached to them normally. It's certainly something that I've experienced quite a lot, even in real life. But like academic Twitter even is wild. I mean, academic Twitter isn't as much of a thing anymore because those of them left, but yeah, academic Twitter can be spicy and very elitist, and it's like, oh, what's that? You did your regression with 4 variables when you could have controlled for this 5th and 6th variable. That's shameful. You're not doing good science. How dare you? And it's like, eh. So, unfortunately, that does kind of reflect what those spaces can be like in real life as well. There's definitely a spectrum of person just being themselves with an avatar and person fully immersing themselves in a role in a narrative. Yeah, definitely. I mean, to be fair, you even just see it by like, I know this is such a stereotypical thing, but like, even just by comparing like smaller indie VTubers with like, the big corporation VTubers, that in itself is quite, you can see quite dramatic differences. I know that there's a lot of variation between the corporations, and there's also a lot of variation even among indie VTubers, but yeah, if you just kind of like take an average, you'd see quite a different average, I think, across those two. As long as we're not getting quizzed at the end of the stream, can't promise anything. We wouldn't have had the unknown P cover. That's so true. So yeah, I'm happy VTubing's a thing. It's very good. I enjoy it a lot. Okay, formerly known as Twitter. Yeah, but there's like so many things people call it now. Also, that's reminded me, which I forgot to say on the stream yesterday, which is that I have unfortunately caved in to the demands and I have got a bird site now. So yeah, you can find me on Twitter once again, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm not using it loads. It's more for communicating with other VTubers than anything else, to be honest. Yeah, it's nice. I felt very disconnected from the community without it, unfortunately. Because even if I'd be talking to somebody on a different platform, every now and then they'd be like, "Oh yeah, can we move to Twitter DMs?" And I'd be like, "No, I don't have it," but I do have it now. So yeah, that's good. That's good. I'm actually talking about how to handle bad science on stream later. Ooh. People these days are so trigger happy with labeling papers as bad when they're just sub-ideal. Yeah. I think a lot of people have this notion of science in their mind as being like facts, you know, like hard facts. Thank you, Mod. And it's really just not, is it? It's an iterative process. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. It is an iterative process that people make small. They build upon what's already there. You know, we keep building upon things and we replicate things, and hopefully that builds up our knowledge. Sometimes it doesn't, and we have to go back and rethink things, and that's okay. But yeah, bad science is, yeah. Obviously there is some science that is just objectively bad. So like when it's fraud, which is a thing that happens. But yeah, for the non-scientists, did you know that scientific fraud is a thing? There's been quite a few big cases in psychology, but also I think in biology, and then there was also one recently, I think, around, I want to say something computational, but I feel like if I say the exact thing it was, then I might be liable to get sued, so I won't. But yeah, that's a thing, because we have this real culture in science, but also just in academia in general, where like you are really just rewarded for the amount of papers that you churn out. So in academia, anyway, yeah, you're rewarded for the amount of papers that you churn out, and then like in industry, you're rewarded for the amount of papers you churn out that can bring a patent, which can bring income into the company. So there's like perverse incentives no matter what you're doing. And then there is like scientists in the charitable sector as well, but they don't want grant makers to feel like, the people that give them money to feel like they're wasting their money, so they're also more inclined to publish things that work. So there's just like, yeah, kind of messed up incentives all around, really. But you know, it's fine, we're trying to fix it, kind of. We're doing our best. Yeah, it's a bit of a mess, to be honest. Replication crisis, yes. It does, yeah. It's delicious and crispy, and it upsets me. It burns my mouth. Okay, right. What were we even meant to be doing again? I've already forgotten. I'm so sorry. Yeah. This tangent, it's fine. This was expected. None of us knew what we were signing up for with this stream, including me, so I think it's fine. What was this one again? More kawaii than a real person live streamer. Understanding how the otaku community engages with and perceives virtual YouTubers. So is this like an actual kind of psychology one? Okay. So they're looking at... Oh, they did interviews. Cute. What was I just saying about qualitative research? This is it. This is interviews. So they've looked at what people actually say and then tried to uncover the nuances based on what they're saying, which is very cool. We love that. Unfortunately, there isn't really that much about what they found in here, but that's okay. That's okay. This was a tangent, but let me just quickly see what the license is on this, because this would be fun to read potentially. Where would the license be with this kind of paper? I actually don't know. Info and claims? No, that's contributors. Information? Permissions. Oh no, we have to request permissions. Sad. Sad. Boring. Make your paper open access and then I'll read it on stream. Well, I mean, they have, because it's available, but I don't know if I'm allowed to show it on stream, so yeah. Scary. Okay, ASMR. I can't spell ASMR. There we go. Okay, so ASMR. I forgot that ASMR stands for the response rather than like something describing it. I forgot that. That's interesting. Okay, right, what have we got here? We have got more than a feeling, autonomous sensory median. I'm just gonna say ASMR. Autonomous sensory meridian response. Okay. ASMR is characterized by reliable changes in affect and physiology. Ooh, we were thinking about the effects of ASMR, so that might be relevant. And then a flow-like mental state. That's not really... Wait, was it emotions that we were thinking about? No, that was the music. We're just looking at responses in general. Flow-like mental state might be interesting. And these should be open access as well, these two. Personality traits. I mean, that's pretty interesting, but that's not quite what we're looking for. How everyday sounds can trigger strong emotions. No, not quite. Neural correlates, I won't understand that. Understanding the triggers. Okay, well, we've got 2 studies. I think that's enough. Oh, there's one about happiness. School and something studies. Okay, that might be a bit off, but we'll try our best. And then maybe we can dig through the cited by as well, if there's anything interesting. Okay. Right, is this open access? It is. Let me just quickly check the... I mean, it's +1, so it's... +1 is like one of the really big open access journals. So if something's on +1, then you should be able to access it yourself. Sometimes they even make like the peer reviews public as well. Oh, and I forgot, there's also reader comments, isn't there? There is one response on here. Ooh, there's a critique. Interesting. That might be fun. Oh, and they found a typographical error. Typographical errors, no. Typos are like the most stressful thing, because every single time that I've ever submitted anything, I'm like, it's ready, it's perfect, I'm happy, send. And then instantly I like scroll down 2 pages and I see a really glaring typo and I'm like, no. I'm sad. And then once it's with the editors, it's just entirely reliant on them. Like, they have to be the ones that find it and stop. You're good at proofreading? Oh, I wish I was. I'm good at proofreading other people's things, but I'm very bad at proofreading my own things. One of the ways that I try and get around it is that I get like either I ask somebody else to proofread it for me, or like obviously in addition to me doing it myself, or I'll get like text to speech to read it out for me. Because normally if there's like a really obvious typo, you can hear it a lot easier than you can see it. If you've been reading the same thing over and over again, you get kind of like used to reading it, probably is the best way to describe it. So hearing it read out to you while you're reading it is actually, it can help you to find them. So yeah, I guess there's my study fact for the day. Yeah, if you're if you're writing an essay, get it text to speech and then listen to it back and think to yourself, is this a conversation that makes sense? Is this monologue actually making sense, or is there loads of words in here that are not sensical for the context? Yeah, so honestly decent idea, thank you. Yeah. That's actually good advice. Oh, good, I'm glad. I've been doing it since, I want to say, my 2nd year of undergrad, and it works pretty well. Obviously I only do it on like important things, and unfortunately I'm now kind of at the stage in my career where I've got so many things going on at any given point that I can't often sit down and do that anymore, which is really annoying. But if you're working on like one thing at a time, then yeah, highly recommend just like setting aside an afternoon to like text to speech your essay to yourself, or your article, or whatever you're doing. Something about the way I process words makes me stumble over typos extremely easily. Like, my brain goes, I sense a break in the expected pattern nearby. Ooh, I wish I had that. I think probably for me it's just because of like the quantity of writing that I'm doing. Because like my PhD thesis is like 80,000 words, and then I've got another 3 or 4 manuscripts on the side about different topics, which are all about 10,000 each. So I've got like coming close to like 150,000 words like bouncing around in my brain, and yeah, I just don't see them anymore. And then also I think so I'm also just very tired at the minute. Like, Something about winter just gets me. It's not seasonal affective disorder. It's just like it's almost like hibernation. I think I just go into hibernation mode. So yeah, I'm not really as on the ball as I am between like late February and kind of early October. It's my sleeping period. Which also unfortunately coincides with, the university year, because obviously we get summer off. So I kind of wish it was the other way around, but yeah, my eyes do glaze over, especially if I'm having to bounce between documents, because sometimes I get asked to do feedback on things like on the same day, and then I have like three different 10,000 word manuscripts that I've read, plus my like whatever thesis chapter I'm working on, and I'm just like, That word count made me realize that I'm definitely never gonna do a PhD. Yeah, I yeah. I mean, I say 80,000. I think technically it's 60,000, but that's excluding like references and author notes and supplementary documentation and stuff like that. In all honesty, if I'm including everything that I'm producing for my PhD, it's probably 150,000 on its own. Because obviously I need to write papers. Um, and then I need to like document the data and the code that I've written for my papers. And then I need to do like reviews and respond to reviewer comments, and yeah, and then I have like other research that's nothing to do with my PhD, and I feel tired just talking about it. So yeah. My bachelor's thesis was 21,000 words and you hated every single one of it. I don't blame you. My bachelor's thesis was only like 10. I don't think it was even that. I think it might have been 7,000. But it was a single psychology study, to be fair. I think the undergrad, like bachelor's thesis for psychology in the UK is very like, what's the word? It's like the same. It's standardized across most universities, so you have to do pretty much the same number of words, and you have to do roughly the same kind of project no matter where you are in the country. So I think that's probably why they keep it a little bit lighter, but you're expected to do your own research project from the very beginning. So yeah, that's a thing. Oh, yours was a qualitative systematic review. Oh, those are the worst. Oh my gosh. So, for anyone that doesn't know, a systematic review is like you're going through other people's research in like a systematic way. So you set out specific search terms that you're going to use, and then you go through a database like Google Scholar and you download all of them. And then you have to read the abstract for every single paper, and like classify whether it meets your review criteria or not. And it is like, I've done one, and I had people helping me with it, and I only had to review maybe like 1% of all of the things. I think I did like 200, and it made me want to die. It was the worst thing I've ever done. I am never doing one of those again. So you have my sympathy. Oh my gosh. Imagine doing that for a bachelor's thesis as well. You're braver than I am, goodness gracious. I think the thing about it being harder to proofread your own text is because you know what you want to say, so your brain assumes it's correct. I have the same thing when writing versus reading in English. Yeah, that's very true. You kind of got like built-in autoconnect. You're making exactly the same associations as you were when you were, well, maybe not exactly the same, but largely the same associations as you were when you were writing. So yeah, there's yeah, definitely you can kind of autocorrect. Yeah. Oh, I am supposedly good at scientific writing, but I have no love for it whatsoever. Honestly, same. I've been told that my scientific writing is good, but like so my first chapter, I submitted it to my advisor for review, and they came back with honestly not that many edits in the grand scheme of things. Like they were like, yeah, this is good. There's no substantial criticism here. Maybe just there's a few typos here and there, add a thing here or there, and you're good. You've got your first chapter. I was like, oh, okay. But it is such a pain. Like it is a slog. I really have to like set aside entire days to just do nothing but that, because the only way that I can do it is if I like really get absorbed into it, and it's not easy because there's so many other things like pinging for my attention. You know, even just like with my job, you know, there'll be like participants messaging me being like, please can you do my survey credits because I want my survey credits, and I'm like, do you need them right now? Do you need them right now at like 4:55 p.m. on a Friday? But yeah, science do be like that, unfortunately. I love the science, but not the format. Both of my bachelor's theses got the result of really interesting content, awful form. See, mine's the opposite. I've been told I've got good form, but my ideas are a bit weird. Or rather, I'm very much in the like iterative science kind of camp. So my ideas are like, I see one thing, I see another thing, and I'm like, oh, those link together, let's do that. Which is like the way that you're meant to do it, but it's not. This is another one of those things where science, it rewards like kind of the wrong things, to be honest. Um, it the type of science that I enjoy doing, where I'm like kind of piecing things together or building off on things, it's not the way to get like loads and loads of citations, which is how you get a job actually doing science for the most part. I feel very, very lucky because I, you know, have a job lined up for when I'm finished, and it's not in any university, so I'm going to be not having to deal with too much of that nonsense. But yeah, I don't envy any of my friends that a load of my friends have already finished their PhDs and they're like going off to do postdocs, and I'm like, a postdoc is like a job that you do when you finish your PhD. So it's postdoctorate, and it's kind of like, I would consider it like the equivalent of like a junior doctor, I guess. Like you've got your qualification, but you still need a little bit of supervision. But largely, you can do stuff by yourself. It's kind of like that, but you know, for science. And yeah, loads of my friends are starting to do that, or I've got friends that have already been doing it, and I'm like, wow, like I don't envy you at all. Yeah, but the chart in your systematic review was wacky. They always are. Like the most frustrating thing about systematic reviews is when you've downloaded like, I don't know, 7,000 papers, and then by the end you've excluded over 6,000 of them, because they just don't fit the criteria at all. They're on something totally irrelevant, and then you exclude another like 500 because they're not quite right, and then you're left with like, in the end, you're left with like 200 papers that are anything near resembling what you're looking for, and then only like 7 of them are actually only 7 of them are actually on the topic that you're after. Pain. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the congratulations. It is very pog. Yeah, it's cool, but it turns out I do actually need to finish my PhD for it, so that's unfortunate. Okay, we have gone like totally. We've not even touched ASMR. Yeah, you'll get there. Thank you. I'm trying. I'm trying. It is one of those things where I'm now like sat here being like, I wish that I had written more sooner, type of thing. But thankfully, I've got quite extensive like study protocols. So, in all honesty, like a big chunk of it, don't tell anyone, but a big chunk of it's just copying and pasting. So, yeah. But yeah, I need to. I've still got a few things to do. I need to write some code to analyze some data and then write up the findings. But the findings part in psychology is very straightforward. It's just like, yeah, it's just literally like a template that we fill in and then a sentence and then you're good. So yeah, it should be fine. I will get there. I feel it. I believe it. I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best. But yeah. Okay. ASMR. Should we actually try and find out about ASMR now? That might be good. Speaking of ASMR, I just took a drink of tea and then I was like, oh, I hope I didn't just make ASMR noises. That would be terrible. Yeah. Okay. ASMR describes the experience of tingling sensations on the crown of the head. Isn't it interesting how, like, in science, this is specifically referring to the response that you get, and then if you just say ASMR to, like, an average person on the street, they'd probably think of the content first rather than the feeling. Yeah, I find it fun when science and everyday people have different words or different meanings for the same word. It's very funky and cool. And definitely doesn't cause problems for science communication. You heard nothing, I'm glad. Sometimes I'm really worried that I'm just making strange noises and everyone can hear it, and then I'm like, ooh, whoops. Because there's like one, well, it's not one, there's like a few people that I work with who I have like calls online, and then every time that there's any kind of background noise, they're like, what is that? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know what you're hearing. I literally can't even hear anything on my end. So I don't know if it's like a problem with the program that we're using or what, but yeah, very strange. Okay. It's the experience of tingling sensations in the crown of the head in response to a range of audio-visual triggers such as whispering, tapping, and hand movements. Hand movements? Oh, I didn't know that. That's interesting. Public interest in ASMR has risen dramatically, and ASMR experiencers watch ASMR videos to promote relaxation and sleep. Unlike ostensibly similar emotional experiences such as aesthetic chills. Sorry. I know that that's referring to like the sensation of like, you know, like a chill moving down your body from music, but I don't know, something about the phrase aesthetic chills just sounds really funny to me. Is like, because I'm imagining just like cold or like calm, but aesthetic, like aesthetically pleasing. I think because people online just use aesthetic as like a verb when it's no, not a verb, like as an adjective when I think it's actually meant to just be a noun. It's just reprogrammed my brain in a very odd way. Visual ASMR is a thing apparently. That's so interesting. What can be considered visual ASMR? I guess we're going to find out. They said hand movements, but I've literally never heard about it before. So, aesthetic chill, dog, yeah. Aesthetic chill is lo-fi hip-hop to study and write your thesis to. So true. So true. That's literally exactly what I was imagining as well. Okay. We present two studies, one large, they did a large scale online experiment, exciting, and one lab study to test the emotional and physiological correlates of the ASMR response. Both studies showed that watching ASMR videos increased pleasant affect. Affect is just affect with an A. Psychologists use it as a noun. Me complaining about psychologists and everyday people using the same word for different things again. But affect with an A, used as a noun like that in psychology, it's referring to emotions, basically, like emotional responses. But emotions can kind of be broken down to like how you're thinking about the emotion and then how you're like kind of viscerally experiencing it as like a mood sensation. And then also how you're experiencing it as a physical sensation. I don't know if that makes any sense, but we kind of distinguish them. And affect is specifically like the mood response. Mood isn't quite the right term, but I think that's the best way I can describe it. It's like, you know, does it feel nice or does it feel bad type of thing. Yeah. Throwing gang signs counts as ASMR. I wouldn't know. I'm unknown P. we don't throw signs in my hood. In my ends, we only throw clay pigeons. I think it might be those satisfying videos, like how it's made and stuff. Oh, yes. That's so true. Those videos, I love those. I like, but I don't actually, you know what, actually, the ones that I like more are like the walking videos. You know, when it's just somebody walking through like a city. So like, obviously I'm a raging weeb, so I go for the like Tokyo ones. I don't know, wait, let's try and find one quickly so I can show you. Let's see. Go away with your cookies. Like these kinds of videos. These ones. I don't know if I've got any sound on. I apologize if I do. where it's like somebody walking through. I think this might be my equivalent of ASMR because I find these so satisfying. And if I could have like a giant projector on my wall that just plays this in the background all the time, I would be so happy. Yes, weeb. But yeah, anyway, let's put that away because this is not a React channel. Unless. No. Unless. Okay, actually, no. For now. I've been meaning to ask this. So, basically, the next, like, probably like 2-3 months, they're going to be pretty rough. Because my hours at my job are being upped from an afternoon a week to 2 days a week. But I also have to spend 5 days writing my thesis every week. So I'm like not gonna have any chill whatsoever. So there might be times where I just don't have time to prepare for streams. And we can do stuff like this where we're just looking into like a random thing. I really enjoy this. This is fun. Even though we've not actually found out anything about it yet, but it's fine. Let's be honest, this is just a glorified just chatting stream. But how do we feel about React content? Are we like morally opposed to it? Or do we think it would be okay because I have a unique qualification? Like if I was specifically reacting to things that talk about psychology or like something related to psychology, would that be, how do we feel about it? React content. Yeah. Not preparing for stream, let's go. No, I'm serious though. Like, how would we feel about it? Because I want to know. Thank you for the poll. I love experts reacting to things. See, this is the thing, because like, okay, during like the height of the pandemic, where everyone was in lockdowns, I swear I listened to so much Trash Taste. It was actually disturbing, and like, this wasn't like out of nowhere. Like all three of them, I've been watching for a very, very long time. Like I have been on that area of YouTube for so long that I remember when Joey and Arky met. So yeah. So like there's so much stuff in Trash Taste. I know the whole thing is just them like, they're just hanging out with the boys. And they're just like, haha, spreading misinformation on the internet. But sometimes they actually do. Sometimes they talk about psychology stuff in a way that genuinely like bothers me. I remember that there was an entire episode that they did. I think they might have been talking about like, I think it might have been like a shower thoughts episode or something. But I remember them talking about consciousness or something like that in a way that really, really just like viscerally got me irritated. So yeah, I want to know how people feel about if I was going to react to things like that. I've also found a few like shorts and stuff like that where, for example, VTubers are talking about their experience of being a big VTuber, and that is also really interesting to me because sometimes they say things and I'm like, well, I, as a psychologist, know why that's happening, but they don't. So yeah, I don't know. I'm currently obsessed with VODs of a therapist with a PhD in human development playing Horizon Zero Dawn and analysing the character and their actions. Yo, that sounds so interesting. Do they still post, or is it like a historic VODs type of thing? Because I noticed that there was a lot of I did some market research, guys. I did market research. So I was trying to see if there was anyone else doing anything vaguely similar in terms of like psychology and anime. And I found a fair few people that do psychology and gaming or like therapy content, but there wasn't really anything about the scientific side of psychology as far as I could tell. And especially not in relation to anime. There was like one YouTube channel that I found, but like their style of videos were just totally different to what I would ever do. So yeah, obviously we're like, I'd say we're in the same niche, but very different audiences type of situation. So I was like, okay, that's fine. I don't feel like I'm copying anyone if I do this then. Do it. Debunking is great. We love debunking. It's ongoing. You know what? Please, if it's on YouTube or on Twitch, please link it because I'm really, really interested in finding out what this is. We've got a yes or a perhaps on the React content, but no no's as far as I saw. So I think we might be doing React content. I'm begging you, please, can we watch those poorly made shorts talking about why character has disorder? Yes. Oh my gosh, yes. I have so many thoughts about those. Which do go beyond, like, they're irritating, I promise. But yeah, honestly, like, so obviously, like, Dr. Mick, I think I've come across Dr. Mick before. Amazing. Yeah, I'll go check out Dr. Mick at some point. Yeah. What was I saying? I've lost my train of thought. Character has disorder, yes. So obviously I'm not qualified to like make any kind of diagnosis, but I am qualified to talk about diagnoses in general, and I'm also qualified to say, hey, random person on the internet, you shouldn't be diagnosing this character. Like, yeah. I think I'm qualified to say that. But also there's so many misconceptions about mental health especially, but also psychology in general, to be honest. People make statements and I'm like, I know that I remember watching a video ages and ages ago about like Freud and Freudian symbolism in Evangelion, and I was watching it and I was like, I mean, from my understanding, there are some issues in this video. But I'm not a Freudian, so I don't know I don't really know much. I've never actually read Freud as a source material, so if you're going to make React content, can you suggest videos? Absolutely, absolutely. You are more than welcome to. Because yeah, I have a few ideas for what I could do, but honestly, like I have a playlist on YouTube where I'm like storing things. And at the minute I've actually just got a separate one for trash taste because they've got so many bad takes. But yeah, I've also got a few that are from one that's like stuff from VTubers or stuff about anime or whatever. So yeah, absolutely do suggest videos. I should probably work out a way to let you do that, right? I can set up like a redeem on the chat, but it's like 1 point. Would that work? That should work. I think that'd work. Or maybe I could make it a little bit higher just because I don't want any one of you to redeem the arrow. But yeah. Okay, cool. We'll do that then. We'll do that. So I think the way that I'm gonna keep going with the schedule is that Tuesdays are going to be journal clubs, Wednesdays are going to be educational variety content, and then Saturdays are going to be game. And I think that way we all get to hang out and we still get to learn stuff together, but also it kind of like reduces the burden a little bit while I'm in write-up period. I feel like that's a good compromise. Thank you, everybody. We like working together. Okay. Should we actually talk about ASMR now? Would that be good? We're like, what are we? Almost like an hour and a half into the stream and we haven't done anything yet. Average Psydere stream, to be fair, but you know, we would actually like to find out a bit more. What the heck is ASMR? Yeah, what the heck is it? We'll find out because this abstract is not telling us that much. But it is telling us a little bit. So let's scroll down and find out more. What is ASMR? Oh, we've got a story. Look at that. Imagine that you're in a quiet library. Wait, okay. Would it be weird if I like... Okay, no. My content brain was like, you should whisper this bit. And then my rational brain was like, dear God, please don't do that. No, no! Do it, no! I'm not doing it. No. We're not whispering. No! No! No, no. Oh, fine. Oh. Why are you like this? Why are you like this? You're all terrible. I have to take some medication, so here you go. You can have this scrunkly noise from it. Oh, it's not scrunklying. There you go. That, I don't know if that made an actual scrunkly noise or not, so. Right. Okay. I haven't actually whispered in a very, very long time. How do I even do this? How do ASMR streamers even do this? Imagine that you're in a quiet library. No, I can't do it. I'm sorry. I can't do it. You've been punched in the face with the medication. Sorry. I was watching it and I saw it like it peaked my audio and I was like, oh, whoops. Maybe this is better. Is this better? Oh, that was loud. Sorry. How was that? Was that more? Is that more ASMR-y? Okay, we're never doing that again. I'm so sorry. I didn't realise it would be that bad. We're gonna set up your audio. Yeah. I mean, it's normally fine. It's normally fine, I think. Normally I'm in like the green to, you know, like that green to orange border. But I haven't mastered the art of knowing how close to be to things yet. So yeah. And also like my desk just isn't very it's like wide. It's like, well, no, it's long. Like left to right, long. But like it's front to back, not super wide. So yeah, I kind of have to just work with what I've got, and I haven't. Yeah, I've got more things than desk, unfortunately. But you know, it's fine. It's fine. I'm sorry for deafening you. I won't ever do that again. See, I did warn you. I did warn you that we shouldn't do the ASMR, but you know, it's fine. Okay, right. So, imagine that you're in a quiet library. Two people behind you start whispering. Others are gently typing onto keyboards. Oh, I can do that. There you go. That wasn't gentle, but you know. And someone starts quietly eating an apple. I don't have one of those on hand. You look up and you look up and watch someone delicately turn the page of a book. Do I have any books? This is a multi-sensory experience. How's this? Quietly turning the pages of a book. That was a bit more aggressively than quietly, but you know. No. Roadman accent? That's my normal accent. Wait. Roadman accent? How? Huh. Like. Nah? Bro? Okay, are you telling me to read this in a roadman accent? I will do my best. Okay. Imagine that you're in a no, that's already gone terribly. Imagine that you're in a quiet library. Two people behind you start whispering. Others are gently typing on keyboards. And someone starts quietly eating an apple. You look up and watch someone delicately turn the pages of a book. I can't do it, man. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. It's too hard. I can do like, maybe I can do, okay, right. Let me stop trying so hard. Let me get into my my drilly meditation. It's man spending thousands on troll links, so true. I can't believe this is a real paper. I know. This just feels like creative writing. Right. Imagine that you're in a quiet library. Two people behind you start whispering. Others are gently typing on keyboards. And someone starts quietly eating an apple. You look up and watch someone delicately turn the pages of a book, carefully scratching some notes with a newly sharpened pencil. For many, these might be frustrating and irritating distractions in a supposedly quiet environment. But for others, these sights and sounds, I've lost my place, man. I've lost my place. But for others, these sights and sounds would trigger a feeling known as ASMR. Man, I can't see that. That's big words. A warm, tingling, and pleasant sensation starting at the crown of the head and spreading down through the body. I can't do it anymore, please. Please. Was that 5 minutes yet? Come on, I have to... Ooh. I've spent time in South London, and that's why I can't do it, because I feel painfully cringe, okay? Like, I have been where these accents come from, and that is why it hurts me to do this, because I know I can't do it. Because I know that I am too, like, posh to do it these days. I can't do it anymore. If I was streaming, like, 10 years ago, I could have done it just, like, fine, because that was my normal accent. Well, kind of. It was close enough. Where did we get to? Autonomous sensory meridian response, a warm tingling, and no, I can't do it anymore. I'm sorry. I did my best. How was that? Did I do okay with the accent challenge, or do you want me to finish the paragraph? Tell me. Tell me. Everyone's just stopped functioning. Everyone stopped functioning. Psydere was a roadman. I wasn't a roadman. I was a road woman. I was a road woman. No, I was never a roadman. I had the accent because yeah, I'm from that general area of the country. But yeah, that was Leng. No, Leng. Peng is good. Peng is like hot. I've forgotten what Leng means. I think Leng also means hot, but I've forgotten. You'll have a new ASMR video out of this. No. No. Is ASMR roadman a thing? If that's not a thing, then there's a whole new niche for somebody to explore there. You know, they can do ASMR with like roadman accent and then like all of the crinkly noises and stuff in the background. And I swear, if any of you make any kind of violence joke, I will time you out. Don't do it. Okay. That was a joke. I wouldn't do that. We are welcome to make fun of roadmen in this chat because unfortunately a large chunk of people I went to school with would be classified as that. Okay. The pleasant tingling experience of characteristic of ASMR is reminiscent of historically more well-researched emotional experiences such as awe and music-induced chills. However, wait a second. They actually wrote brain orgasms in this paper? That's so funny. I love that. However, unlike these well-researched, well-established and accepted phenomena, the experience of ASMR has gone virtually unnoticed by psychological science. Is ASMR a genuine feeling in those that claim to experience it? Does it produce reliable changes in affect and physiology? We present 2 studies that systematically investigate for the first time whether anecdotal reports of ASMR as tingling, relaxing, and calming are supported by empirical evidence. Specifically, whether self-reports of ASMR across a large sample are associated with reliable changes in affect and physiology. It's roadman slang adopted as part of multicultural London English, so relatively modern. It means attractive, similar to, but stronger than peng. Yes. It can also be used to describe something positively. I feel like I should have read this whole thing out in my like posh voice so I sounded like an anthropologist or something. It can also be used to describe something positively. So a Leng pizza would be delicious. A Leng sleep would be really refreshing. I've never heard someone say that's a Leng pizza. That's not a thing. That's not a thing. Wagwanji, how's a pizza is Leng. So true. I love it when my pizza's Leng. The tin goes pat, 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 pat. I can't do this. This is too much. Oh no. Stop culturally appropriating me, guys. Anyway. Okay. Right. So we know what ASMR is. They're seeing whether it's an actual thing, like what people say. If a waiter asks me how's the food in London, I know what I'm responding with. No. Please. I'm suffering. The funny thing about London though is that it's so diverse that chances are they're not even from London originally and they will just be like, what? What are you talking about? Oh my gosh. Okay. ASM. By the way, is this too small? Do you want me to zoom in? I can make the text bigger, I think. Or not. I can't, apparently. I forgot to check the thingy on this. It's fine. Don't tell anyone. I can do reader mode. Does the reader mode look bigger? Flashbang. That's a flashbang. Oh my gosh. Can I make it a dark background, please? Thank you. Okay. Let's do the more one. Yeah. Okay. And then... Oh, it messes up the graphs, though. They're not in the right places anymore. No, we're not doing that. Okay, we'll just zoom in. There we go. I don't know why they've made their text so small. That seems like a less than stellar thing to do. The best bit would be going to London and speaking with a thick Yorkshire accent. You know, honestly, that's normal. The real thing would be going to Yorkshire and speaking with a thick London accent. Because I'm telling you, I lived in the north of England for a little while, and the fact that I was southern literally like became everything that was my identity up there. Like they couldn't define who I was other than she's southern. So yeah, I feel like if you went to Yorkshire and spoke with very thick London slang and accent, then that would be more stressful for them than if you went to London with a Yorkshire accent. Also, loads of Yorkshire accents are on the TV now. Like it's pretty common. I know that London accents are as well, but I don't know. Lots of people like Northern accents, so yeah. Right. ASMR occurs involuntarily in response to certain external and often social triggers, including whispering, soft speaking, tapping, scratching, slow and expert hand movements. What is an expert hand movement? And close personal attention. They report it since childhood, but assume it's either a universal experience or unique to them. The internet and social media have allowed ASMR experiences to label the sensation, recognize that it is neither universal nor unique, and watch videos to stimulate it. There are hundreds of thousands of people now watching ASMR videos. On websites such as YouTube, I mean, Twitch is pretty big for it too now, right? Popular videos include simulations of medical examinations. What? Simulations of medical examinations? The rest of these, like, they kind of make sense. The customer service role plays one is a little bit weird. I can tell you, I worked in retail for a very, very long time, and never once did I say, would you like a bag with that? Like, it was always very much like, you're right. Boop, 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 boop. Alright, that'll be $5.50, please. Cheers, have a good day. And it was that on repeat for like the entire 5 years. I have never once done ASMR in retail. Surgeries on a grape. Oh my gosh, I forgot that was a thing and I loved it. That Surgeries on a Grape was like my favourite video to come out of whatever year it came out in. I thought about that so much. They did research on the wrong live streaming page? Maybe. Yeah, this is feeling... I'm not gonna lie, like, you know, the medical examinations and the customer service role plays, that's feeling, yeah, that might not be the ASMR tag. That might be a different tag. That's okay. Yeah. Also, where are they from? I want to know what university is doing ASMR research. Sheffield. Oh my god. Yorkshire represent. Let's go. And Manchester, but mostly Sheffield. Yorkshire. Yorkshire. They knew we were talking about them. Incredible. Okay. So, where were we? People use the videos to promote relaxation and sleep, and even as an antidote to depression and anxiety. Wild. That's not a medically approved use of ASMR. Please consult your general practitioner. It appears to share similarities with more well-established sensory experiences, including the shivers down the spine that some but not all people experience during music listening and profound aesthetic experiences. Interesting. Research on aesthetic chills has assessed that physiological parameters that correspond with these complex emotional experiences, typically by presenting participants with chill-inducing stimuli, such as self-selected musical excerpts, and measuring aspects of physiology. Ooh, and they've consistently associated the aesthetic chills with increased heart rate, a finding that may or may not be linked to the onset of piloerection. I'm scared to Google this, but I think it means skin. Okay, wait. No. Right. Give me a second. I'm going to make sure that this is safe for Twitch. Yeah, I think it's goosebumps, but I don't want to risk it. Yeah, it's like when your hair stands on end. Cool. Okay. Why couldn't they just say that? Why couldn't they say that in brackets? They literally did it for like so many other things. Like they literally used shivers down the spine. Like that's a thing that we understand. How am I meant to know what P-low erection means? Honestly. Less consistently, aesthetic chills have been associated with increased respiration, so faster breathing, breathing more deeply, and increased skin conductance response, which is when they put like little electrodes on your skin and they measure how well it conducts electricity. And then if you're conducting more electricity, it's because you're sweating more, because sweat is, water, but it's also got ions in it which move the charge. The authors were like, heh, with that one, gonna make them look it up. They probably were. I wouldn't even be surprised, given that they're doing a whole thing about ASMR. Like, this feels very, this feels like a very terminally online research paper, and so I wouldn't be surprised if they were just like trying to get that in somewhere. This whole paper feels like, heh. Honestly, so true, so true. Okay. And then the evidence suggests that phenomenologically complex and idiosyncratic emotional experiences, that's big words, just like things, just responses, experiences, can be identified by various physiological parameters, which can in turn have implications for how those emotional states might affect physical health. So basically, emotions and bodily responses are related. Who knew? Crazy, wild. It does have a bit of an undercurrent, yeah. I can't judge, because if I was like, okay, I'm writing a paper myself, and I know it comes across as very terminally online because I am terminally online, but like the things that I'm referencing in it would only be I have to reference it because of the research, but it's only things that somebody would know about if they are terminally online in a very specific way, which is mildly concerning, because that means my reviewers will either just like blindly approve it or be like, you need to explain this, and then I'll have to sit and explain memes or something, which would be very annoying. But yeah, you've lost it since the library scene? Honestly, same. I don't know where I am. I've lost it. I've lost the plot. Don't see a problem with it. It's just a little funny. I agree. I wish there was more papers like that. I think that people, yeah, it's nice when they can put a little bit of their, not their personality, but, like a little bit of their culture, as it were, into the paper. I think, especially with psychology papers, a lot of them are so sanitized, even though psychology is very culturally dependent. So yeah, if there's little cultural references in there, I think that's cute. I like it. Even if their culture happens to be terminally online. We love that. Okay. So they're looking to see whether the physiology reflects relaxation. So I'm guessing that they're gonna, there's the survey data, and then I'm guessing they're gonna do a physiological experiment as well. There has been a very small study before. Cool. Showing reduced functional connectivity, the co-activation of brain regions over time in a number of areas in the default mode network, which is a large-scale neural network comprising the neural network is in the physical sense, not in the computer sense, like as in the actual brain sense. We have neural networks in our brain too, comprising the angular gyri, posterior cingulate, and medial prefrontal cortices. Don't ask me where they are. I don't know. There's been linked with internal mentation and self-referential processing. I don't know what internal mentation is. I'm guessing it's just like thinking. Just like being mentally internal. Like, you know how like mindfulness is trying to like externalize your attention onto something so that it kind of like calms you? I feel like that's saying the opposite. It's like centering yourself to try and calm you. So more like meditation, I guess, rather than mindfulness. And self-referential processing is like processing information in relation to yourself. So yeah. Internal mentation could also be popping a Thin Mint in your mouth. So true, it could be. Do you know those like I don't know if everybody has these in their own countries, but like after eights, it's like a thin layer of mint something. It's mint something. It's like fondant or something. And then or like icing, and it's covered in chocolate. And like, I'm not mad on like minty chocolate, but there's just something so satisfying about like just popping them, like just snapping them and popping them, and then like this sounds so weird now I'm saying it out loud, but like squeezing the mint out. I don't know. I probably need to go get help for that. It's probably not normal. Okay. ASMR participants with impaired controls had reduced resting state functional connectivity between frontal, sensory, and attentional cortices of the DMN, a finding which suggests that ASMR may be underlined by an ability to inhibit sensory emotional experiences. Ooh, interesting. So ASMR might be dampening down emotional experiences linked to our senses. Very interesting. They have them here. The commercials are like, wow, look at how British this is. Valid. I think they are a British thing, so that's understandable. Also, I don't know why they're a thing. That like I don't understand how they as a company make money. We have like two kinds of chocolates that I can think of off the top of my head. Apart from like selection boxes. I think everywhere has those. You know, like the boxes that have all sorts of different chocolates and sweets in them. But like we have these two types of chocolate in the UK. There's like after eights, and there's which are the mint thin things. And then there's like Terry's chocolate orange, which is like a ball that's cut into like a ball of chocolate, milk chocolate that's cut into like orange segments basically, and it's got orange flavoring. And I swear they only sell them like at Christmas. Like they sell them normal price like in the run up to Christmas, like the 3 months before Christmas. And then after that, they're like the price goes down. And I swear like they must make all of their profits at Christmas because every single household in the UK pretty much buys both of those. So because like the Terry's chocolate orange, it's like I don't know what to get you as a gift, so I'm gonna give you that. And like no, actually a lot of the time people are like, oh, I love these, thank you. But yeah, I wouldn't know because I would die if I ate one. Okay. So they think that ASMR might like dampen the responses that we have, the emotional responses to sensory input. I think that's what they're saying. That kind of makes sense to me because it's almost like it's kind of white noisy in a way, right? It's kind of like a like a continuous type of input. So I guess kind of similar to what I've said about lo-fi before. So that adds up. Emotional responding may be stronger in individuals with ASMR in response to certain triggers. Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah, so I'm guessing they're kind of saying that it like dampens down like the kind of processing overall, which kind of develops a feeling of well-being. That's what I'm getting from this, but I have literally just skim read it. But I want to know what they did. Anyway, I feel like the introduction for this paper is like more interesting than the actual paper itself in a way. Not to be rude to like Poerio and colleagues. It's just like I want to know what ASMR is and why it does the thing. So like the actual paper, the details of the paper. You know, this isn't a journal club. The introduction is fine. Let's see. Oh, that's a spicy claim. ASMR could provide a genuine method to combat rising rates of conditions such as insomnia and depression in those capable of experiencing it. That is certainly a claim. Okay. I mean, that would definitely need to be randomly to be put into a randomized control trial, which is just a very big test of whether it works or not. But yeah. Okay. Then they did an online experiment. Oh, it was an online experiment where they watched videos and then reported their response, and then one in the lab, which was the same thing in the lab. Yes. It was the same thing in the lab, but this time they had physiological measures. Heart rate, skin conductance. Very cool. We love that. Okay. So the first study, 1002, not bad. Oh, okay, yeah. So 1,002 participants did the survey. That's pretty good. How do they recruit people? Social media on a dedicated website and through a university mailing list. To be fair, this is the kind of study which people would actually be interested in taking part in. When you've got a study that's kind of like trendy, as it were, yeah, that that can get a lot of people interested in taking part, even if you don't have any specific incentive. I imagine that RCT would be super hard for ASMR, considering you'd have to sample people who know that they experience ASMR, and if they do, they're more likely to already believe that it does something. That's super true, and it would at least be a little sussy. You're right. I feel like there could probably be some kind of pre-screening for people that haven't heard of ASMR, and also have the ASMR response, but they're not aware of it yet. Especially if they manage to find these consistent physiological correlates, you could kind of like work backwards to screen people, and then, you know, allocate them depending on the intensity of their physiological response in that pre-screening. But I don't know. I don't know if that would actually work. Yeah, that might not work actually. That would be very resource intense. Jeez. Uh, you'd have to like bring them in for like a different study in order to do that, to then be moved on to the RCT. Like, you'd need to find a way to work it into something that you're already doing. They got ASMR videos from YouTube. Very cool. Oh, ASMR videos were taken from YouTube and were selected by the authors, two of whom experience ASMR and watch ASMR videos. They know the content. They are terminally online. We called it. I love that. I love that so much. I hope they never find my Twitch channel. Sweats nervously. Okay. Come on. Let's just scroll down to the discussion. We're not talking about the specifics of the paper today, so let's just find out what they found. We found consistent evidence that ASMR videos elicit tingling sensations, and promote positive affect, calmness, and excitement. Crucially, these responses occurred only in people who identified as having ASMR, and only when these people watched ASMR videos rather than control non-ASMR, with the exceptions of tingles in Study 1. In Study 2, we showed ASMR extended beyond self-reporting feelings to physiological measures, specifically reduced heart rate and increased skin conductance level in ASMR participants while watching ASMR videos. The results from both studies are consistent with the idea that ASMR is pleasant, calming, but also activating experience. Interesting. And then the physiological response profile differed from aesthetic chills. That's very interesting. So, it sounds like for people that experience it, it does actually calm them down based on their data. However, we found evidence that ASMR is also an arousing but not sexual experience. So arousing in psychology just means it like activates your nervous system in any way whatsoever. But there's a word that we love throwing around and forgetting that other people do not use it in the same way that we do. ASMR videos were associated with increased excitement and skin conductance levels, an indicator of physiological arousal. The fact that seemingly opposing self-reported emotions and physiology occur simultaneously in response to ASMR videos may have been indicative of emotional incomplexity of ASMR. Interesting. Okay, so basically they found a whole bunch of stuff. But broadly it does seem to support the idea that ASMR does exist and it does something. That's very interesting. Very, very interesting. We only managed to read through one paper, but I feel like I already understand it a little bit better. How about all of you? Because, like I said, ASMR is not something that I've ever experienced, and I don't really get it. But seeing what the physiological response might be, you know, like the way the body reacts, I kind of get it a little bit. I think it's just something that I'm not programmed to have. And I do wonder whether, like, Teo, your point about like how you feel about people being up in your face, basically. Like, how you feel about people being in your personal space does play a role, because I'm very much not personal space orientated. So ASMR has seen me at my lowest and at my highest. I don't know how to respond to that. I'm concerned. Relatable, I guess, except not, because I don't watch ASMR. I guess that's anime for me, probably. I do get it, the head tingles. No perceived mental health benefit though, it's just kind of neat. Yeah. See, I don't even get the tingles. I get like the best way I can describe it is that I get like a skin crawling sensation. It's very, very unpleasant for me. And yeah, like I said, I wonder if that does play into Teu's idea about the yeah, the not liking people near you. Like that makes intuitive sense, but I would be really interested to see if that was actually a thing. But unfortunately I can't add any more new research projects to my plate. So yeah, that's unfortunate. That is extremely unfortunate. But yeah. What do we think? Are we convinced about ASMR? Are we convinced? I think I might be, actually. I think I might be. I also get the goosebumps because some of them feel like somebody speaking very close to you, but not gonna lie, most of them stress me out. Yeah. I just accidentally muted my mic. I don't even know how I did that. I think stressing me out. Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. Yeah, I think Tayu's onto something, honestly, with the proximity thing. People near me. Blech. Yuck. Imagine being near people, couldn't be me. Okay, right. My voice is starting to hurt. So I think it might be time for us to end the class, perhaps. Yeah. I hope you've learned something. I certainly have. I did not know that like ASMR went that deep. I knew that it was like a sensation that people had, but I wasn't expecting that level of physiological response. So that's very cool. I wonder if it's possible to separate the general calming nature of ASMR videos from the actual ASMR effect. That's so true, because so many of them are like, they're very, what's a good way to describe it? They kind of remind me of like, well, just background noise type of thing, I guess. Yeah, just like background noise. I don't know if that makes any sense, but like, you know, like the kind of, yeah, the calming background noise videos. I mean, like I said with the Japan walk, I think that's probably a good idea. Arguably, maybe some people get ASMR from that because oftentimes there's like, you know, gentle walking noises, but maybe not. Now I'm really curious about expert hand movement ASMRs. Yeah, I really want to know what they are, but I'm also kind of scared to look it up. So, yeah, really not sure. Really not sure about that one. Okay, so do we have anyone that wants to guide the raid today, or can I choose? Because there are there's someone streaming Minecraft. Oh, we've got Guide the Raid from Teo again. Tipanya is doing a co-working stream while she studies medicine. Ooh, that sounds funky. That sounds very funky. We like co-working streams. I wonder if I would finally be able to like finish my PhD if I started doing the co-working streams again. Oh, it looks like they're on a break at the minute as well. That's good. We love Pomodoros. Okie dokie. Let's do that then. Let's go and raid. Tipanya. Something stochastic is saving points. Gee, I wonder what for. I can't believe that my mod is so dedicated to just like brutally bullying me. Oh yeah, also I forgot to say, actually, very quickly, I forgot to say I set up sound alerts. They actually work now, I think. Let's see if this works. Yeah. It worked for me. Did you hear it? 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 I want to know. Please tell me. It worked! It's success! Okay, we've got sound alerts. They actually work now. Oh, I'm so happy. You don't know how long I battled trying to get that to work, honestly. I had a real, yeah, a real experience with that one. But yeah, let's go and jump into Tipanya's stream. Is the bot working today? It is, yay! It is working. And we can add the sussy backpack emote onto it, which I need to do actually on the bot. But yeah, I think that's going to be everything for today. Thank you all so much for joining us. Let me set up the raid. There we go. And yeah, I hope we've actually all learned something. I feel like I have. I hope that you have too. I like this idea where like we can all learn stuff together. I think that's very, very cool. So yeah, we might do that more often. But yeah. So I'll send you off to Panya now, and I hope that you all have a lovely day or evening or morning, whatever it is where you are. And yeah, thank you for joining the class. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for joining. See you next time. Bye. Bye-bye.